Instax Mini 12 unboxing. I'll unbox the camera, load the batteries, load the film, and compare it to the Instax Mini 11. Right now, the Instax Mini 12 costs $80 and the Instax Mini 11 costs $77, but for accurate pricing, check the links below. The Instax Mini 12 came out in March of 2023 and the Instax Mini 11 came out about 3 years ago. So let's take a look at what is the difference between these two cameras and which one you should get. Surprisingly, the box of the Instax Mini 12 camera is a little bit thicker than the Instax Mini 11 camera, which is a little bit surprising as the cameras are getting a little bit smaller as the new models come out. On the front of the box, we have a picture of the camera with the print coming out. Then we have the model number, Instax Mini 12. Here in the corner indicates the color of this particular camera. So this is the pastel blue color. The camera is available in 5 different colors: blossom pink, clay white, lilac purple, mint green, and the pastel blue. On this side of the box, we have the features: bright images with automatic exposure, ideal for close-up shots. So this camera has some upgrades compared to the Instax Mini 11 regarding the close-ups. Automatic flash control for great selfies. Also, there are some improvements regarding the flash on this camera. On the back of the box, we have a picture of the camera from the back. Here in the corner, we have the contents on the camera. So we have an instant camera, hand strap, 2 alkaline batteries, AA, and the instruction manual. From this side, it shows you the actual size of the print that the camera produces. So this is a Instax Mini film, and you can see it's the exact the right size. From the top, we just have the model number, a barcode, and again the color that I chosen. So this is the pastel blue, and on the bottom we have another barcode and some info about how to recycle the packaging. So let's open it up to see what's inside. It's actually pretty hard to open this flap. Okay, and pull it up. It's pretty tightly packaged. Okay. Then you've opened these flaps and then you took out this flap. There's some more cardboard. So here we have the strap. Okay, so that's the strap for the camera. It's the same color as the camera that you chose. So I got a blue camera, I have a blue strap. Here on this side we have the 2 AA batteries. They're like a no-name brand that comes with the Instax camera. Let's pull it out. Here we have the manual, and then we have the camera itself. So it's very nicely packaged. You don't have to worry about dropping the box. Nothing is gonna happen to it. So you have to unwrap it like this. And then here we have the camera. So it's wrapped in this kind of paper type material. And here it is, ta-da! Let's look at the physical features of the camera. So from the front, we have a shutter button here, viewfinder, flash, 2 sensors. So the top is the flash sensor. The bottom is the light sensor. Then here we have the model number. And here we have the main thing, which is the lens. Here's a selfie mirror. So to start up the camera, you twist this ring right here to extend the lens. And then the lens also actually automatically opens up. And then you're ready to shoot once you have the batteries in. On this side, we have the attachment point for the wrist strap. Next to the lens, we have a selfie mirror that helps you to frame perfect selfies. On the back of the camera, we have the back of the viewfinder, the door where the film is inserted. So when we open it up, this is where the film goes in. Once you have the film inside, you will see a yellow mark here. So that's what you look for, whether you have film inside or not. And here's the film counter. When you first load film in there, it will say S, and once you start taking pictures, it will count down from 10 all the way to 0. Each cartridge of film has 10 pictures. On this side, we have the battery compartment. To open it up, you push on these 3 dots down, and then you pull down. It holds 2 AA batteries. I'll show you how to load those. On the bottom, there's nothing there. This camera does not have a tripod mount. And on the top, we have the film ejection slot. Before you use the camera, the first thing you have to do is to load the batteries. So the camera comes with these AA batteries. They're like no-name brand. Generally, I recommend using higher quality batteries with Instax cameras because a lot of times when people have problems with Instax cameras, it's due to the batteries being too weak. But since the camera is brand new, let's load the included AA batteries. So to load the batteries, we open this compartment right here. So there are the 3 dots. You push right there and then you pull down. Then you get the cover off and then you can load the batteries. You load 1 battery at a time. When you load the batteries, you have to pay attention to the proper orientation. So for this battery right here, the plus goes here. So that's the one with the knob. So you insert it like that. Okay. And for the other one, it goes the other way around. So the plus goes on this side. So we insert it like this. Okay. So plus here and plus there. And now we have the batteries inside. We can close the compartment. And let's see if it works. So once we twist this ring right here, this light should come on. So we twist it. And you can see now it's blinking. So that means the camera is charging up the flash. And after a few seconds, it should be solid light. So now it's solid and we should be able to take pictures. So I don't have any film there right now, but we can just take a sample shot. And you can see the camera is making noise. and it should work just fine. To turn off the camera, you just twist this ring this other way. It will retract the lens, close the lens, and the camera is off. Now we can load the Instax mini film. Most of the times the Instax mini film comes in this package of 2, so it's 10 sheets times 2 packs. So there are 2 packs inside of this little box. You can also buy bigger packs, and it's usually cheaper, but when you go to the big box stores like Walmart and Target, usually you will find these type of packs. So let's remove one of these packs and let's load it into the camera. First, you have to remove the film pack from this foil pouch. So to do so, there is this little notch up top, and you can pull on that right like this, and then that will rip the foil open. Open it up like this, rip the foil open like that, and now you have the film cartridge. Once you have the film cartridge, it's really important to locate the yellow mark up here, so because that's how you're gonna load into the camera. Then you take the camera, take this door right here. There's this little latch. You pull on the latch, open it, okay? And this is the inside of the camera, and there is a yellow mark right here. Okay, so that's a yellow mark right there. Here's a yellow mark here, so you want to align the yellow marks. So you load the film pack like this. You insert the bottom and then the top. Once the film pack is inserted, you have to make sure that these 2 yellow marks are aligned. Then you can close the door, make sure this latch properly closes. And now you can get the camera ready to shoot. Before you can start taking pictures with the Instax mini camera, you have to eject the protective sheet that protects the film from being exposed when you're loading into the camera. So to do so, you just turn on the camera, okay? Once this light is lit up, it's not flashing, you just press the shutter button. And all this does is to remove this black piece of plastic that protects the film from being exposed. So now that you have this, you can throw this away, and this camera is ready to take pictures. Once you eject the protective sheet, the S turns to 10, so that shows that I have 10 exposures left. Every time I take a picture, this number will decrease by 1. So once I take the first picture, it will go down to 9 and all the way to 0. Now let's attach the wrist strap. First, we have to remove this little piece of paper to kind of get the wrist strap out. So this is the wrist strap. These are pretty nice quality. They don't look super sturdy, but they're actually quite strong. This is like a synthetic material, and it's very strong. To attach the wrist strap, first you have to locate the attachment point. So it's on this side. So if you look at it straight down, you rotate it this way, and then it's quite simple. You take this little loop right here, and you kind of want to squeeze it a little bit so it's like a needle, and then you thread it through these 2 holes, okay? So insert it like that. And then sometimes you get a little bit of resistance. Now I got it in, and you have to push through so it comes out on the other side, okay? So it's right there, and you can see it's through the loop, okay? So I have this like that, and you can see it's through there. So this little thin plastic part, you wanna thread through this loop, okay? And it's not attached yet because I can just pull it out like that. So let's put it back in, we'll push it through. And to permanently attach it, you have to take the other side of the loop and thread it through here, okay? And then you pull it like that. And now it's permanently attached and you're good to go. And unless you really try to remove this, this is not gonna come loose. So now this camera is ready to take pictures. So let's compare the Instax Mini 12 to the Instax Mini 11, which I think is the main competitor. They're very similar cameras, just a newer and older model. So the Instax Mini 12 is brand new and the Instax Mini 11 is about 3 years old. So let's look at the main similarities and differences between the 2 cameras. So we have the Instax Mini 12 on the left side and Instax Mini 11 on the right side. So blue is 12 and the purple is the 11. So from the front, they look quite similar. I actually like the design of the older one a little bit better. The new one is a little bit boxy. I like this little curve here. From the back, they're pretty much identical. You have the film door, viewfinder, nothing else. This side also the same, just the battery compartment. They use the same type of batteries. On the bottom, also the same. Neither of these cameras have the tripod socket, and they're both made in Thailand. So all the differences have to do with the front of the camera and how the exposure is controlled on each of the camera. The first major difference is how you turn the camera. So on the Instax Mini 11, to turn on the camera, you push this button right here, and that ejects the lens. On the Instax Mini 12, the new one, you don't have this push button anymore, which was present on the 11, also on the 9 and the 8. You have this turning mechanism. I actually like this a lot better. I think it's nicer, smoother than the kind of jerky motion of the push. The second big difference is how you initiate the selfie mode. So on the Instax Mini 11, to initiate the selfie mode, you kind of yanked on the lens from the front, so like this. So now we have the normal mode, and to initiate the selfie mode, we pull on it like this, which worked okay. It's better than the previous cameras like the Instax Mini 9 when you used to have to use like a extra lens to do the selfies. But what the problem with this method is that you take a selfie, and now if you want to take a normal picture, you can't just disengage the selfie. You have to turn on the camera completely and then start the camera fresh. So it's kind of a little bit inconvenient. On the new camera, on the Instax Mini 12, you can go to selfie just by twisting. So now we are on, and if you want to selfie, or now they call it close up, it's kind of the same thing. You just rotate like this, and you can see that the lens extends a little bit. So normal mode, selfie mode, close-up mode. I would say this is a lot more elegant. You can go between these two modes without turning off the camera. And I think this is probably a little bit better for the mechanism of the lens. This is probably more prone to breaking because you're kind of pushing on the lens just like this. And it might be a little bit more jarring. As far as the sharpness of the pictures, it should be exactly the same. Both of these lenses are 60mm lenses. I think they're 2-element lenses, so don't expect something super sharp. So if the image is properly exposed, and that's a big if, and I'll go into them in more detail. If the image is properly exposed, both of these cameras should give you identical pictures. I'll test this in a lot more detail in future videos. I'll do very in-depth image quality comparison between the Instax Mini 11 and the Instax Mini 12. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on that. But the big difference in how the pictures will look from each of these cameras is how the flashing is controlled. With the Instax Mini 11, a lot of times what I saw is that when you took close-up shots, the pictures, especially portraits, were a little bit too overexposed. And I think based on the promotional materials, they fixed it. So when you initiate the close-up mode, like I have it right here, then the power of the flash will be decreased a little bit, so you don't get like this super strong flash look. And then another big improvement is the parallax correction of the viewfinder in the new camera. So one of the issues with the Instax Mini 11 is when you initiated the selfie mode, when you pulled this lens, then the difference between what the viewfinder sees and what the lens sees when you're taking pictures of close subjects was pretty big, and you would have improperly framed pictures. You can see this with your eyes. When you're looking at something really close to you, maybe like a foot in front of your face, what your right eye sees and what your left eye sees are a little different. If you're taking pictures of something really far away, like a landscape, the difference where the viewfinder is and when the lens is doesn't really matter. They are so close to each other compared to how far the landscape is, there's no difference. But on the Instax Mini 12, they fixed this. So when you go from the normal mode to the close-up mode, the viewfinder changes inside, and that compensates for the difference what the viewfinder sees and what the lens sees. Now I'm in the normal mode, and when I twist it to the close-up mode, it changes in the viewfinder. You can see that inside. So that compensates for the difference what the viewfinder sees and what the lens sees, and it will result in better framed pictures when you're taking something of close-up. So that's a big advantage of the Instax Mini 12 compared to the Instax Mini 11. So if you're taking a lot of pictures of close-ups, maybe pictures of your kids who have small faces so you're really close to them, the Instax Mini 12 will be a much better option. And the last practical difference between these two cameras is the position of the light sensors. So I complained on the Instax Mini 11 about the position of the light sensors. They're on the side here. On the Instax Mini 12, they're in the middle. And the problem with the Instax Mini 11 was that when you were taking pictures of landscapes like this, a lot of times you would naturally hold the camera down here in front of the sensors. And when you're covering sensors while you're taking pictures, your pictures will come all messed up. They're gonna be heavily overexposed. So this was a very common way to hold the camera when you're taking pictures, and very common mistake. And I have videos about that. On the Instax Mini 12, the sensors are in a much better position, so you're a lot less likely to cover them up when you're taking pictures, because you can see it would be kind of hard to cover those up when you're taking pictures normally. So when you're taking pictures vertically, it's like this, and horizontally would be like that, and you shouldn't cover the sensors. But you should still pay attention and make sure you don't cover the sensors or the flash or the lens while you're taking pictures. Or you don't want to touch the lens when you're taking pictures either, because sometimes that results in a wrong exposure as well. And just for reference, here's the Instax Mini 12 next to the Instax Mini 8. The Instax Mini 8 or 9 are the same camera. The 9 just have a selfie mirror, and you can see how the design has evolved. The Instax Mini 12 will give you much better results, because on the Instax Mini 8, you had to manually set your exposure, and that a lot of times resulted in incorrect exposure and people's pictures didn't look so nice. Also, the Instax Mini 8 or 9 don't have slow shutter sync. So when you're taking pictures of at parties, you're gonna get kind of like a properly exposed face, but the back of the party will be completely dark. So the Instax Mini 11 and the Instax Mini 12 are much better for that. And in general, I would not really recommend the Instax Mini 8 or 9 to anybody who's starting with Instax. You're gonna get much better pictures with the newer cameras. The Instax Mini 8 is good if you want to do kind of manual type of pictures, because you can manually set the aperture like this. And I have here examples of what the apertures are. So if you are a kind of more advanced photographer and you know how to control exposure, you can play around with the Instax Mini 8. But for general shooting, kids, people who are just starting out photography, definitely get the Instax Mini 12 or the Instax Mini 11. But I think the improvements in the Instax Mini 12 are definitely big enough to justify the extra cost of their Instax Mini 11. If you can get the Instax Mini 11 on like a turbo sale, maybe it would be a half price of the Instax Mini 12, then I would say the Instax Mini 11 might be worth it. If the difference between the Instax Mini 11 and the Instax Mini 12 is only about $10 or $20, I would definitely go for the newer Instax Mini 12, because I think the better modulation of the flash is a huge advantage. I'll test this in the future video, and also the viewfinder correction is nice. And also I think this mechanism of going between the close-up and the normal mode is much more elegant than compared to the Instax Mini 11. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.